If you're looking for a smartwatch with Wear OS and it can hold up to 2 days with no issues at all, then take a look at the TicWatch Atlas that we are going to talk about today. So the Reveiw company stands behind the TicWatches and they're around for quite a while, but we've seen some ups and we've seen some downs. Now we have a new watch here that promises a little bit more than what we saw with the TicWatch 5. Starting with the fact that this watch is very rugged. This thing is not a fashion icon, you're not going to be able to combine it with suits and something more elegant. This thing is made for the mountains. The case itself is very durable, it is also sandblasted and it has a mil standard, so this is a very tough unit. For the people that are worried about the glass, I have to say that this here is one of the toughest that you can find out there because it is a sapphire crystal, and for the time being that I have been using this watch I didn't have any issues with it and I see no scratches on the screen, so this is a great thing, and I usually bash the watch here and there when I'm walking. It is not that much on the heavier side, keeping in mind that this is very rugged. It weighs only around 47 grams and without the strap, and I think that the weight is reasonable. For me and for my usage I have no issues with the weight, and I have to give a thumbs up to the strap because it is very flexible, it is a rubber one, it stands very nice on the wrist. I didn't have any irritations on the wrist, neither from the back side of the watch or from the strap. Of course, if you don't like the strap you can change it with whatever you want. Keep in mind that this works only with 22mm straps, so this is the one that you should go for. Hardware-wise you have the newest and greatest from Qualcomm, and here it's the Snapdragon chip. This thing is very capable and it runs the watch with no problems at all. I didn't expect any issues, stutters, lags or something like this while using the watch, while scrolling to the menus or while enabling some training modes, because one of the training modes that I'm using is tennis. And when I'm talking about tennis, I have to say that here we have a new feature that is called a heat map. Heat map will actually show you where you have been playing most, and this is very interesting if you are playing golf, if you are playing tennis, if you are playing football, so it can show you afterwards the data for your activity, and it can show the map where you have been playing with some heat spots, the spots that you have been actually standing most on. I have to say that for the tennis, I think that the balloon that we were playing in was interfering a little bit with the GPS of the watch, because on the heat map I saw that I was standing a little bit more on the left than what I was really standing on. I was always at the middle of the court, and this is maybe one of the things that I noticed. I suppose that the balloon was interfering a little bit with the watch. For other activities, you have to know that you have around 110 modes that you can select from, no matter if you're going for belly dancing, if you're going for fencing, or you're just going to climb some mountains. You can do it with this watch because the activity mode is in there. Every single activity mode will give you a little bit more of different information depending on what the mode is, but expect to have a very nice and very accurate GPS track if you are outside. Also, the pulse measurements are one of the best that you can receive from a smartwatch nowadays, and the SpO2 is, let's say, on the okay side, because I see some deviations from my usual SpO2 that I have, and here it depends mostly on the positioning on your wrist. Every single information related to the sports activity can be reached in the Reveiw application, and there you can see your cadence, there you can see your pulse, your SpO, your VO2, and the GPS track. Of course, from what I have seen, the GPS track is on a good level. I didn't expect anything that is Garmin-like accuracy, but here the accuracy is on a good point, so no jumping from here to there, no big variations in the roads that I have been taking. I think that this will suit most of the people, and for professional runners I kinda don't know because I didn't compare it directly to a Garmin watch. The screen is something that we see unchanged from the previous generation, and this is mainly because of the double layer screen. Here you have a top screen that is absolutely ultra efficient, and it will drive you for quite a long time, especially if you go to an essential mode. The essential mode will make the watch more like a regular fitness tracker than a smartwatch, but it will last for many days. I don't want to see an AMOLED screen here because it is made mainly for power efficiency, and if you are going into a sport mode, if you are going to work out in the mountain or something like this, I think that you'll be leaning more on battery life than how the screen looks. So for my needs it's more than enough. It is not as bright and it is not as vivid as some of the AMOLED screen that we see right now in the watches. Even in the Huawei watches we see better screens, but here the screen will be more than sufficient for most of the people that are going to use this. And keep in mind that this watch is focused more towards activity than to be a lifestyle gadget. The most controversial part part about TicWatch was the operating system and the updates that in the previous generation didn't come as frequent as we wanted to, even the security updates. Here at least we have the October security update for the Wear OS, and I highly hope that Mobvoi are going to push more updates to this watch and they're going to make it last a little bit longer than the previous generations, because this was one of the issues. Regarding the operating system, TicWatch Atlas runs Wear OS. This means that you have access to Google Play Store and you can download variety of applications. In my case, I'm looking for Spotify and for Strava. These are the first applications that I download on the watch, and maybe the only ones that I really need. But I have to admit that I really miss the Google Assistant here. I don't see a Google Assistant, and this is a bit of a painful for me. I also prefer Google Assistant to assist me with turning on the lights in some areas of my home if I'm carrying something especially, but here we don't see such thing, and this is a little bit of a boomer. This is maybe one of the biggest downsides for me. Everything else regarding the OS is pretty straightforward. It is one of the most boring interfaces that you can see right now in the smartwatch industry, but I suppose that the boring interface means that it will run a little bit better, a little bit smoother, without any excessive animations. The good thing is that you can personalize the cards that you have while swiping right and left, and they can be personalized from the TicWatch application on your smartphone. Keep in mind that you have to run an Android smartphone with version Android 8 or upper, and no support for iPhones, so you'll be needing an Android phone. The cards are very easily accessible. I like how I can arrange them, and I also like the fact that there are many different things that I can set there. One of the features that is new to this watch is actually fall detection. This thing here can detect if you are falling on the ground, and it can prompt a message if you want to send an SMS to your emergency contact, and it can also ask you if you wanted to call emergency, so you can set an emergency contact again in the application. This is something that in my opinion is very crucial for a smartwatch that is that rugged and it is supposed to go to the mountains, and you know, in the mountains accident happens. So in this case I have to say that I'm very happy to see that here we have such thing. The downside though is that it has to be connected to your smartphone, because it doesn't have LTE, you cannot install eSIM in it, and it relies highly on the connection with your smartphone if you are outdoors and it is not connected to your home Wi-Fi system. And when talking about calling from the smartwatch, when it's connected to your smartphone, you can dial everyone directly from the watch, or you can accept calls. The call quality in my opinion is okay, the microphones are decent, the speaker is also decent, so it does the job for me and I cannot complain about this. The battery life is something that is very crucial with smartwatches nowadays. I have to say that I'm very happy with the life here, and maybe one of the things that I miss a little bit is faster charging, and one of the other downsides is that TicWatch are still using their proprietary charger for charging the watch. You don't have any wireless charging, so you cannot use the reverse charging of your smartphone to charge the TicWatch Atlas. This is one of the downsides, and I hope to see it fixed in the next generation. When it comes to health measuring, here you have almost everything that you want from a smartwatch that can go to the mountain. You have a very accurate pulse measurement. Also, it measures the SpO2, as I already told you, but in my opinion this is not one of the most accurate measurements that I'm getting. One of the measurements that is on a very high level is actually the sleep measurement, and the TicWatch Atlas can do it on a very good level with a very nice accuracy when you are awakened, when you are sleeping, when you are in a REM sleep or deep sleep. So everything like this can be accessed in the Mobvoi application. Another interesting thing is that the TicWatch Atlas can watch for your heart health, and it can prompt you with a message if something is wrong. One of the things that I miss here is an ECG, but let's say that this is a little bit more of a niche spec of a watch. The Mobvoi health application is very straightforward, everything is very nicely structured there. I don't think that anyone is going to be bothered by the look of it, and everything that I needed is actually put in there. You can also download some smartwatch faces from there, but keep in mind, as I told you already, the screen is not one of the best, so don't expect incredible colors and don't expect incredible brightness. Everything else regarding the watch in my opinion is okay. As a conclusion, I can say that the TicWatch Atlas is a very nice unit for the price and for the ruggedness that it has. Keep in mind that there are also many other watches that are in the Wear OS family, but they're not that rugged and they're a little bit more highly priced. The Atlas features a sapphire glass, it features also a very nice rugged casing that covers mil standards. The sensors that are positioned on the back are also accurate, even that we don't know actually what they are, and I suppose that they're almost maybe the same as what we saw with the previous generation. but anyways, the measurements here are correct. The software is not one of the most appealing looking on the market, but anyways, it does the job. The strong side here is that the watch can hold up to, let's say, 90 hours with regular usage with no issues at all, and this is a phenomenon in the Wear OS family. And if you go to essential mode, you can go for even longer battery life, but of course some of the smart features will be cut off. The low power screen is the strongest side of this watch, as it gives you enough information even if you are working out, and it saves battery. As cons, I can point here that we don't see any update strategy from Mobvoi for now. Another con is that we don't have an LTE version here, and I wanted to have an LTE version, but anyways we don't have. And maybe one of the strangest things here is that we don't see Google Assistant in the watch, and I really need Google Assistant to work with it. Thank you for watching this video, and I really hope that you like it. I'll leave you a link down below in the description to take a look at the TicWatch Atlas and to the full specifications of it. And if you like the video, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, don't forget to ring the bell icon for upcoming videos, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.